Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give you an update on BTC and the rest of the altcoins and the rest of the crypto market cap. So the last video I made was when BTC did this move around here, went below 115, and I was talking about how we would be going higher soon. And I thought there was a possibility that we would go lower, which did happen. We went even below 112. It was a very similar move to what we saw in the previous range where BTC went down right below a lot of the support, and then it recovered, and then it went even lower, right? And that's what happened here. So low and then even lower. And then we can see that it actually has reversed since then. It's made a new all-time high before being rejected quickly. And this was a big liquidation. We saw a lot of liquidation in a very short amount of time. So I want to talk about where we're going next, and I'll talk about some altcoins as well. So first of all, let's just look at BTC, right? So in my opinion, I think this was 100% the lows. I don't think we go lower than 112. And in terms of the short-term move here, I don't think we go much lower than here, because liquidations are actually very important because they reset the leverage and reset the momentum. If too many people are getting too excited to buy and there's just too much FOMO in the markets, that's unsustainable. Everyone's coming in on high leverage, and that's why you need some pullbacks, especially in the altcoins, so that you have a chance to reflush the leverage and make the next rally sustainable, right? Because if too many people on high leverage catch a move, let's say we went to 135, they're up a lot of money, and then when they sell, they'll really bring the price down. So you don't want too many people on high leverage making a lot of money, because they can easily make the price go down afterwards because they have high sell pressure. But in terms of what's going to happen next, I actually don't think we go much lower than here. Like this, the bottom might be in at 116,800, and then we'll probably see something like this, and then eventually break out. And I know that we're going to go higher because of what I always refer to, which is the global M2, global liquidity. As we can see, we're still following this chart, and we're still behind it, right? The yellow line is the M2, and we're still below this level, which eventually we'll have to catch up to. As we can see, there's a very strong correlation, and we're currently being priced in at like 135,000 per coin, and BTC is only at 118. So we'll very shortly be seeing a move much higher, like something like this. And then I think that basically covers BTC on where I see it going next. So let's look at the altcoins. So let's start off with Ethereum, which has been basically still the best performing altcoin. And basically, if you own, it's been the best asset to own for the last month, maybe 2 months. And we can see that even in the last week, it's outperformed almost everything else, up 5%, while Solana's only up 2%, and Bitcoin's barely even up this week, right? And we can see that it's actually been doing super well, and it's had a little bit of pullback currently with the rest of the cryptos, but I do believe that this is just a temporary dip, and then we'll eventually go higher, because everything follows this M2. But I also want to talk, because we all know Ethereum is really strong right now. That's nothing new. I covered that in my past video. So, but how much more can Ethereum sustain its advantage in terms of outperformance? Because it's been a while, right? It's been outperforming for a while. Let's look at BTC dominance, which I expect has continued to fall, because as we know, it's not performed that well this week, right? It's literally barely gone up, while Ethereum's gone up 5% and Solana's gone up 3%, which is something that is unusual to see when Bitcoin dominance is going up. And sure enough, BTC dominance has been going down, and is still going down, even on a move down, right? As BTC moved down here, it's still underperformed, which is pretty incredible, because BTC usually falls less than the rest of the altcoins on bad days, and then it goes up less on good days. But it also went down more on a bad day, which is very unusual and is a very clear sign that we're in altcoin season, and people are preferring or have more demand for altcoins than they do for Bitcoin. So another important altcoin that I talk about regularly is Solana, and Solana actually did break out from the 206 range that it was in July 22. And we can see that Ethereum obviously has been much stronger because July 22nd, it was over here, right? And it's gone much higher than that point, while Solana only went barely higher. So I think, so obviously in the past, it's outperformed Solana, but I continually talk about how as the cycle progresses, people move up the risk curve, right? They go from Bitcoin to ETH, and eventually Ethereum won't outperform everything forever, right? Just as we saw BTC dominance continue to go up, Ethereum dominance won't go up forever, and eventually we'll see rotations as people move up the risk curve, right? People who've made a lot of money with Bitcoin transfer their wealth into Ethereum, and then they made money on Ethereum. They're going to look for the next play to multiply their money. So they'll come slightly higher risk, and they'll pick some of these coins like Solana, BNB, and XRP. So I continue to say that I think Solana on this next move up does extremely well. If we want to look at something more short term for like a little bit of confirmation about what I'm saying, we can just see that on this local low here, we can see how Solana bounced at 182, and then now it bounced a little bit off 185, and it's currently at 187. If we look at Ethereum, it's actually made a double bottom rather than going higher, right? So it didn't really make a higher low, and Solana made almost a 2% higher low here. So that's just a little bit of indication that Solana's becoming a bit stronger than Ethereum. Obviously, this is just one data point and is not confirmation or anything. It's just something to look at. And then we can look at some other coins. For example, Sui. So in the last video, I talked about how it was breaking out already, which it was a breakout, but it was a bit of a fake breakout as it instantly got rejected and it made lower lows right here. And now it's still in this range. Sui is, it's doing okay. But the thing about Sui, as we talked about earlier, it's higher risk than Solana. So as we expect the rotation from ETH to Solana, the next rotation would be from Solana to Sui, right? So it doesn't make sense for Sui to start outperforming now because it's not Sui's time of the cycle to outperform, right? Everything progresses naturally down this list, and as people take more risks, they'll start looking into Sui. But I still think Sui is a very strong coin. I have a video on why Sui is a good coin to own this cycle. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. I also want to talk about Pepe. Pepe not being too strong here, but it's been in this compression for a long time, right? This compression has been happening for a long time, and it keeps making higher lows, it keeps making lower highs, and eventually it will break out of this range. And I believe it'll break out to the upside, and it will probably go something like this, right? Like it will be a very vertical move, and then it'll go straight near all-time highs. And the reason I'm so bullish Pepe is, first of all, it's a very undervalued meme coin. It's a coin that everyone knows, and accessibility matters a ton when it comes to meme coins, because that means everyone can buy it because they already know what it is. But also because Ethereum's been doing extremely well, and Pepe is the second largest Ethereum meme coin, and it makes sense that a lot of people want to rotate their Ethereum gains into Pepe, right? Some other charts so a lot of the charts I was talking about last time have gone down. So SPX 6900 has fallen. Maybe a good time to get in if you're looking to buy some. Jupiter is a play on Solana. So if you think Solana is going to do well, I have a video explaining why Jupiter is a good leverage bet on Solana ecosystem. And then Uniswap's been doing very well because so just look at this. So Uniswap is the #1 DEX on Ethereum, and Ethereum's been doing well, so Uniswap has done very well as well, right? I think it probably has outperformed. So let's just look at this. We got up 25% from that low, and then we got, actually maybe not. Yeah, so it's underperformed, but it's still done well. It'll probably outperform later on in the cycle. But just like how that's the case, Jupiter will do well if Solana does well. So if you think Solana's going to do well, Jupiter will also do very well. I think Farcoin is a good time to accumulate. It's at a strong support level here. And if you're looking to get an entry on Farcoin, I think now is a good time. As we can see, historically it's bounced a lot at this level. So probably a good time to buy if you want some. And then basically everything else is kind of just consolidating, getting ready for a move higher. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any video requests, let me know as well. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.